Welcome to today's webinar. Today we are going to be talking about the 7 habits of highly effective realtors with our host, Darryl Davis. To get the most from the webinar today, we want you to take really good notes. We want you to use this Q&A panel here to ask any questions you might have. Don't stress if we don't get to them right away. We are going to be taking those questions at the end. If you want to reach us at any time after today's webinar, you can reach us on all social media channels at Darryl Speaks. Darryl is the author of 3 books, all published by McGraw-Hill Publishers. That first one you see there, How to Become a Power Agent in Real Estate, is actually one of the best-selling books on Amazon to real estate agents. Darryl was named this year by Risk Media Magazine as one of the top real estate newsmakers in the Big-Hearted and Brave category. Darryl's also the recipient of the coveted CSP designation, which is only given to less than 2% of speakers worldwide. On that note, Darryl, take it away.
Thank you, Julie. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for tuning in today. So I do have a couple of other things I want to address before we get into today's topic. Some of you, this is your first time in with me. And so a common question that I'd like to get out of the way is this a sales pitch? Because usually when you hear a free webinar, and a lot of them are, they are that. So that's not the case here. I want to address that right up front. This is part of a weekly training that we give for our power agents. So some of you on this call are our members in our coaching program, and some of you are guests, and we welcome the guests so much. The reason why I'm sharing that is because from time to time, I'm going to have a sidebar, if you will, conversation with power agents. So I just want the guests to understand that that's going to be happening. But you're going to get a tremendous amount of value, what we're going to cover today. If you're a guest, I do want to say this, just give you a Reader's Digest version so that we can get that out of your head. What is a power agent? It's our coaching program. It's our membership, which we have lowered last year because of the pandemic to this price of $47. But if you're a guest and if at the end you want to become a power agent, you can do it for $5 and you get complete access to everything. So it's not restricted. You cancel anytime during the 30 days or even after. But the real cool thing, if you are a guest, there's going to be a tremendous amount of bonuses. And I'll explain them later, but this is just a screenshot. Everything on the screen right now is part of that $5 bonus that you get to keep. And so I'll be pointing that out a little bit during the webinar as well. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the 7 habits now of a highly effective realtor. Now, some training that I do, like I said, we do this every Wednesday. Some of what I cover will go wide, right? So we cover a bunch of little things. And some of the webinars will go deep on a specific topic. Like Julia just mentioned, one of the topics we just recently did was how to get a buyer to sign a buyer agency agreement, or how to get your offers accepted, how to do a listing appointment. Today's webinar, because it's 7 habits, it's actually wide. I'm going to be touching a little bit on each one of them. Like I'm going to tell you what the 7 are. I'll explain it a little bit, but we're not going to go deep on any one of the 7 today. So, but here's what I've learned. I've been training agents for over 30 years now. And what I have learned that these are, even in this market, these are the 7 traits, habits, whatever you want to call it, that really successful top agents have. And the first one we're going to start with is you got to know your worth. You've got to have that level of confidence of what you bring to the table for your buyers and sellers. Now, some of the newer people on this call, that's perhaps one of the challenges, or an experienced agent who's got a lot of years under their belt, but they've like, they're struggling financially. If you don't feel confident in yourself, people will pick up on that. So one of the things that I'll give you an instance. This came out recently, this news about Zillow. I'll just read this. Starting January of this year, the company said they're going to have salaried agents who will work with sellers who want cash offers for their homes through Zillow. And in those transactions, Zillow Homes will be a broker of record, the company said. So when this came out, there were a lot of agents who were like, oh my gosh, now Zillow is in the brokerage business, which is true. And we're competing with them. And now they're doing salaried employees. This could be a real concern. And it should be in some respects, especially agents who are giving money to Zillow and the premier agent. They're basically financing their competitor. But what I want to share with you is because the conversation's been like, how do you compete against a company that makes over $1 billion in revenue? Well, you gotta feel like you're good enough. You gotta know what you bring to the table, because no matter what, real estate is still a belly to belly, face to face relationship business. One of the ways that you can compete with the Zillows of the world, if you want, is your personality, your personal connection with people. You've got to feel confident in what you bring to the table. And for example, with a realtor, let me show you something here. This is NOLA. NOLA is one of those websites where if you wanted to learn how to, or not learn, but if you wanted to just do a will online real quick, it's a basic thing or whatever the case is. If you go there, they have some really cool stuff. And this is one of the things that I found practicing real estate. I want to read this to you. Anytime you act on someone else's behalf when buying or selling real estate in order to receive a fee, commission, or other types of compensation, you're engaging in the practice of real estate. To do this legally, you must be properly licensed. If you are not licensed, you are committing a crime. Now, I just want to be real clear on this, because one of the things that is not that civilians, that's what I call buyers and sellers, is they think being a real estate agent is just like you get your license in a Cracker Jack box, or you go to the county clerk's office and you just pay to get licensed. That is not the case. You all know that to become a real estate professional licensed, there are hoops that you have to jump through. There's education you have to jump through. As a matter of fact, it is so important what you do that if anybody else does what you do for somebody else and they're not licensed, they're committing a crime. Just like if you went to court pretending to be an attorney, that's a crime. Just like if you pretend that you're a surgeon and you're not, that's a crime. You are valuable. You have so much that you bring to the table. Now, listen to it. Now, not everybody needs to hear what I'm saying. So I'm talking to some specific people right now. And those are the people that you look at your checkbook or you look at your business and it's not where you want it to be. And you feel insecure about yourself. I know for some of you, you're like, you know what? Everything that I know about me, I wouldn't list with me. And I'm talking to you. You have to have that. You've got to get your game up with your confidence. You've got to believe that you do have some value. Don't look at the results that you produce in your life. Look at who you are as a human being. Are you going to be committed to serving and not selling and helping people get to their next level in their life? You are value. You bring something to the table for buyers and sellers. So I want you to feel that confidence. Part of what we do as real estate professionals is we guide people through the maze of real estate. See, sellers, man, they got it all wrong. They think you just sell a house, you put an ad on the paper or on the internet. And that's it. That's all there is. Why? They'll be like, why the heck are you worth $20,000, $30,000 in commission? I can do what you do. No, you can't. As a matter of fact, you're creating a crime when you do it for other people. There's more to this process in selling a house, you see. Yeah, here's what I'm going to suggest you do. What's showing up on the screen right now, gang, is 184 things that we do as real estate professionals. 184 things. We had to stop because it was just, becoming too crazy. Well, this is one of the things that we give our power agents. You can use this in mailings and promotion on a listing appointment. But here's why I'm showing it in this webinar right now is because I tell some agents who are insecure about themselves to just sit down and read this, just so they can get inspired and motivated. It's like, damn, I'm worth it. I do a lot for sellers. I do a lot for buyers. I have value. So it's real important that you listen. Any top agent you've ever seen, we see them on Facebook or you meet them in person. They know that they're good. Like they walk differently. They walk differently because they believe in themselves. Yeah, you can easily say, well, they have production. They're making $200,000-$300,000 a year. No, man, they had that before they were making that kind of money. If you're a guest right now, I'm going to suggest you take a piece of paper after this webinar, write down all the things that you do for a seller, all the things you do for a buyer to make the list to have that level of confidence. I will tell you, though, if you're a guest and you become Power Agent today, I'm going to give you that guide. That's going to be a gift that we're going to give you today at the end. One of the things that we're really strong with our power agents, and I want to share this with everybody because this is where we're different as far as real estate is concerned, is a power agent's philosophy. Their commitment is power agents coach people, they don't close people. See, one of the mistakes that we have in real estate, we teach agents to go on a listing appointment and close people, close them, use techniques, use script, use that, close people, close that deal. No, man, power agents, we don't close, we coach. I'm sharing this for everybody because, again, it's about your confidence level. You see, when you have it be about closing people, there's a lot of pressure on you to perform. But when it's about coaching people, it's different. See, what does a coach do? A coach looks at what somebody's committed to and gives them the best advice that they can, so that way that person can accomplish that what they're committed to. When a homeowner is looking to sell their house, they're not selling that. That's not what they're committed to. They're committed to moving to another area for a reason. Maybe it's to be with their ill parents, or maybe they're having children. They want to get a bigger house. They want to move to a different state. In other words, selling the house is a means to a bigger end. And what we do as real estate professionals, we coach people on how to get to the next level in their life. That's what we do. See, if you go to every relationship, whether it's a seller or a buyer, and you look at yourself as a coach and not a salesperson, is that going to change how you talk? Is that going to change the dynamics of that relationship? Yes. And you're going to feel good about it. See, everybody, whether you've had 0 listings or 100 listings, if you have that attitude of coaching and here's the other one, serving, not selling people, that gives you confidence right there. Part of what hurts an agent's confidence level is the pressure to perform, the pressure to get that listing, to get that appointment, to get that offer accepted. Take the pressure off, man. Your job is to just help people. Buyers are already committed to buying. A seller's already committed to selling. It's their life. Your job is to support it, to guide it. By the way, this is not part of my notes. Do you see that Power Agent logo on the screen right now? There's a lot of dynamics to the logo. I'll tell you one piece of the dynamic. Do you see that it looks like maybe a house, but there's a little circle around it? The hidden message in that is that what Power Agents do is they circle the transaction, whether it's the buyer or seller, like they support it. You are not the transaction. You are not the listing. You are not the sale. You're a support system for these people, for a buyer and seller. Have that confidence in yourself. Know your worth. Everybody watching this, I don't care what your production level is. You're a human being, and I'm assuming you can help people and you want to help people. Stand on that. Live from that. Wake up and act from that. Okay, here's the second thing that we notice as habits of very highly effective agents is their focus on building a business. And I'm going to get into a little bit. That was a little bit of attitude, the number one. Number two, we're going to talk a little bit of strategy. In building a business, a lot of you said at the beginning of this call, you got to build inventory. Darryl, it's so hard in this market. I get it's hard in this market. That doesn't mean you give into it, that you say, well, you can't get listings. Nobody's selling. No, you've got to find it somehow. You got to shake the trees. It's harder. You got to work harder at it. But building a business for real estate professionals, have an inventory. You know, one of our power agents, Jonathan, I love what he said. I love how this program helps my mindset and staying focused. It's really helped me turn my entire focus on building listing inventory. Jonathan used to run around with buyers mostly. And now he's got how important that is. So I'm going to share with you. I've used this analogy before. I haven't done it in a long time, but I want to bring it back because it speaks to this. If you were getting out of real estate, if you were going to sell something, let's say you were going to sell shoes. And by the way, this could be cars, furniture, clothes, it doesn't matter, but shoes. If we use shoes as an example, what's the inventory? It's shoes. If you have no inventory, you have no shoes, you got an empty shoe store. In real estate, our inventory is our listings. If you have no listings, you got an empty store. So it's really crucial that part of what you do is you focus on building your listing inventory. You know, one of the things the power agents have access to is this chart. It's a listing inventory chart. And what the chart does is it helps you track your available listings. What's really interesting about this chart is whatever the chart does, so does your cash flow. It's actually a look into your financial cash flow situation. If you, for example, just look at the January, for example. Let's say it was January, you had 6 listings. And 4 of them went into contract in February. What's going to happen is maybe in March, you're going to have a surge of cash because they're going to close. They're going to settle in a month, right? But if you didn't restock the shoe shelves, right, during that same time frame after the surge of cash, that what you see on the chart is your cash flow. You all know that in our business, money goes up and it goes down. How you not ride the roller coaster, how you have constant money coming in on a regular basis is making sure you don't just get listings, but you build inventory. You see where it says listing inventory chart? You know, one of our top power agents, Catherine Rain, she was saying, I asked her one time, I said, how many listings do you have? And she's in Miami. She's a big producer, number one agent in the whole state of Florida. Catherine, if you're watching, shout out to you. I think when I asked her, she only had 6 listings. And she said it was only 6 listings, you know. This is how you've got to think. You've got to think about building your inventory. That's crucial. Think about the shoe store. That will generate cash flow for you. Here's an image I just want to show you. I was getting ready for this webinar. This is the example. This is what it's like when you don't have listings and you're trying to get your offer accepted and there's 9 other agents fighting for that house. The drawback when you're working with buyers trying to sell a house is this is where you're at. In this hot market, you're fighting. So if there's 10 offers, 9 agents are going to lose. And the one agent who gets the offer accepted. There is one other agent. You know the other agent who will win no matter what? It's the listing agent. The listing agent in any scenario is the one that comes out the winner. So in this crazy market that we have with low inventory, I cannot stress it enough. You guys still have to focus on building a listing inventory. You just may have to work harder. I'm going to share some ideas with you on how to do that now. One of the other habits of highly successful agents is they are good at generating now business. They are good at generating now business. There's future business, now business. What's now business? Let me explain. First of all, I'm so glad the pandemic will turn a corner. I'll be coming out doing events again. Schedule's already starting to pick up, book up. One of the events that we always do once a year, it's called the Inventory Intensive. About 700 people show up. At this class, this is, I don't know of any other real estate speaker that does this, but what I do is I take real FSBOs from the audience and I call FSBOs live from the stage. My batting average, if I speak to 3 FSBOs, I'll schedule 2 appointments. Now, any of my students that are on the webinar right now, you've seen me do this. You know that I ain't blowing smoke. I'm really good at calling for sale by owners. I'm sharing that now for this one reason about the 7 habits of highly effective agents. Here's what I know about me, because I have the results to prove it. You can drop me anywhere in the United States with nothing but a list of FSBOs and my cell phone, and I'll make 6 figures. When you get to that level in your business where you can generate business now, you're now never at the effect of the economy, of the stock market, of who is the president or what they're doing in Congress. You cause your life, you cause your business when you have that level of skill and confidence. One of our power agents, Paul Musa, when he started, he was a young whippersnapper. Now he's kicking butt. Anyway, he said he closed on $14 million his second year real estate. He came to me in our program, brand new agent. Second year did $14 million. Now you can tell he's from New York because the rest of his testimony. If anyone doesn't think he's for real, tell him to call me. I'll be glad to show him my 1099. That's such a New York thing. Go ahead, I dare you. Call me. I'll prove it to you. But so my point here is this, gang, is that when you get good at generating now business, you are in control of your career. One of the things that I suggest that you do, we created this chart for the power agents. By the way, power agents, this form is in time management. But yes, you can do this as well. Is that you just, to help you stay focused in building now business, have a chart for yourself with the date, number of calls, conversations, appointments. In other words, there's a few things that tracking your calls in generating now business. And I'll show you the different areas where you can do this. The difference in doing this is, number one, is it helps you stay focused. Number two is you can track your business and see your strengths and weaknesses. Like if you're making a lot of calls and you're not getting a lot of appointments, then you've got to work on your close ratio when you're speaking on the telephone. Here's some ideas on now business. First of all, for sale by owners is definitely one of the best ways in generating now business. The second thing is expireds, houses for rent, And last but not least is old FSBOs and old expireds. All of these, this is how you generate now business. Because what do we know about all these people is that they want to do some business now. Even the houses for rent. If you call a landlord and say, listen, if I had somebody who's willing to buy your property for a nice profit, will you consider selling? Houses for rent are really an untapped market. A lot of agents are not working it. Old FSBOs, old expireds, these are people that tried selling 6 months ago, 9 months ago, and they're not currently advertising. That's another good source of leads. Now, let me just address the do not call list. I don't want to spend time because I have so much more to give you guys, and we're 20 minutes into this. I'm just going to tell you, and we can always discuss this if you ever have a question about it. First of all, you have to do what your broker says to do. So if your broker says, if a FSBO is on the do not call list, don't call them. If that's what your broker says, that's what you have to do. Now, if your broker doesn't have a policy or they don't know what the policy should be, I'm going to tell you. If somebody is a for sale by owner and on the do not call list, you absolutely can call them. If they're an expired and they're on the do not call list, you can absolutely 100% you can call them. It's a non-issue. That's it. I'm not going to get into the whole legal thing, but I tell you, when I tell you it's 100%, it's 100%. Now, anybody that tells you otherwise, they don't understand. They don't know the law. All right. Now, 2 things you need to know when it comes to calling FSBOs, expireds, calling now business. So if you're going to generate now business, see, the great thing is, how many of you need a listing in the next 30 days? If you need one listing in the next 30 days, if all you did was work those FSBOs, expireds, old FSBOs, old expireds, house for rent, I guarantee you'll do it. That's why it's called now business. But one of the things you need is a good file system to help you stay focused. The company that I totally recommend everybody is RedX. To me, this is the best company out there. There's, I think, 1 or 2 other companies, but nobody compares to RedX. RedX is the best. RedX, this is some screenshots of their software. What happens is they do the research and finding all the FSBOs. They tap into your MLS, get all the expireds. They reverse the phone number. So when you log into your account every day, this is what the screen would look like. It says, all right, here's all the expireds, the FSBO pre-foreclosures they have as well. When you click on an item, it'll show you the address, more information, pictures, square footage, all that stuff, okay? Along with some dialogue, although their dialogue is not as good as our Power Agent dialogue. So our Power Agents, you can actually copy and paste it into your panel. So that way you're using the Power dialogue. So that's, to me, RedX is the best, okay? Now, Power Agents, you get free access for 30 days with that. So the first thing is you want to have your file system handed to you on a silver platter. The second thing is you've got to have good dialogue. Now, again, I told you guys we're going wide today. I'm not getting into the dialogue because we have FSBO dialogue, expired dialogue, voicemail dialogue for people, vacant property. So we have so much dialogue. But I will tell you, the guests, if at the end of this webinar you want to become a Power Agent for $5, I'm going to give you all of the dialogues that you need, the 12 best dialogues that people ask for, FSBOs, expireds. So you're going to get that as a gift. Like I said, we're just going wide today, okay? All right, so here's what we said so far. Number 1 is know your worth. You got to have confidence. If you're not sold on you, how can you possibly sell somebody else? You are valued. The fact that you got a real estate license from your state, bada bing, right there, you're valuable. You know more than any FSBO or expired or any buyer, period. Has nothing to do with your production. Number 2, you got to focus on building your business, and part of that is building inventory. And how you do that, you've got to know how to generate now business. The other thing is you got to plant seeds for future business. Now, I'm going to warn you on this habit over here. This costs 2 things, money and time. I tell people you should not spend money you don't have. So be careful. Be careful with this because this takes time to nurture. But if you look at top successful agents, they're planting seeds. They have cash flow coming in. Watch it. Number 3, they have money coming in because they know how to generate now business. They've got a shoe store. They got inventory. They're popping sales. They got things in contract. And while they're doing that, they're planting seeds for future business. Now, here's why I love the analogy about planting seeds. Because when you think about how you plant a seed, you don't plant a seed and then the next day you wake up and you say, oh, hey, look, it grew. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk. It takes time. You got to nurture it, you got to fertilize it, you got to water it, you got to cultivate it, right? The sun's got to do its job. And then eventually you produce incredible results. But you've got to be patient and you've got to invest time and money for this to happen, right? So when it comes to business and real estate prospecting, you got to be a farmer. You got to be a farmer. One of the things that we did, one of our seminars that we did for our power agents, it was the beginning of this year. Power agents, we have this recording for you, by the way. So what we did is I love this is one of my favorite webinars, actually. It was a fire hose of content because what we did is we said, all right, here's the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. So we gave farming self-promotion ideas in each quarter. And that's it. So, but again, it's about planting seeds. Let me give you some ideas, future business ideas. So just jot these down. Monthly mailings. Monthly mailings takes time. You're not going to do a mailing today. Somebody said, I'm mailing stuff and nobody's calling. Well, first of all, it could be what you're mailing. So that's number one. But number two, mailings are planting seeds. It takes time for it to take root. I like that. There you go. The seed, it takes time for it to sprout the root. You got to give it the chance. There's specific mailings. Now, the difference between the first and the second is this. Like the first one, like power agents, you have, as part of the program, you've got dozens of mailing pieces. But one of the campaigns you have is a newsletter that you can do in email format or you can print out. The newsletter is just like, hey, here's my name. Part of this future business idea is to have people remember your name, face, and what you do for a living. So it's consistent, right? A little bit drip, drip, drip. Here I am, Darryl Davis. Hi, how you doing? Okay. Now, specific mailings are like, okay, hey, I got a buyer type of mailing. Or, hey, you're an investor. Your property is vacant. I can sell it. So they're targeted specific mailing pieces. Like there's a specific campaign. Like we have a FSBO campaign of mailings. Like for 3 weeks. Like you can mail a FSBO every day for 3 weeks. That's another campaign. So there's specific mailings, right? There's door knocking. We're planting seeds. We're getting to know people. Shaking hands. Like you're running for mayor. Then you've got smile stops. What a smile stop is, again, I'm not going deep on any of these specific things, but we can talk like 20 minutes just on smile stops. Smile stops are specifically for past clients where you bring something of value and, a cake or something based around a holiday, and you just stop them by giving them a gift to make them smile. So that's a smile stop. Social media posting, again, doing consistent postings on social media. I'm not saying you should do all these, by the way. This is a lot of stuff. Is community-specific Facebook groups. Like, to me, in your area, there's probably a closed group, right? If you do, let's say you're in LA, Los Angeles, I'll bet you there's a Facebook closed group called Los Angeles Homes. You join those groups, you participate in those groups, you give value in those groups, so people get to know you. It's almost like it's like your farm area is digital. It costs you no money, it just costs you time to participate. Like you're farming in the group, the farm is there. It's digital. It's cool. All right. Past clients, you stay in touch with them. It's all farming. It's not now business. It's nurturing, keeping in touch. Orphans, these are people who bought or sold through your company, and that agent who did that sale is no longer working for your company. So they're an orphan. You adopt them as one of your past clients. There's a whole process, a letter, a phone call. I have a buyer. Let me tell you something, gang. So I've been training agents, right, for 30 years. It's a long time. Wow. Anyway, I've always been against calling somebody saying, the reason I'm calling is I have a buyer maybe for your house. And the reason why I was always against that is because homeowners are smart. They're like, you don't have a buyer. You don't know my house. You don't know me. It's so ingenuous, but that's a technique that was taught. And I don't like it. But now I do. Because in this market, it's true. In this market, a lot of you do have buyers that want to buy in a neighborhood and there ain't nothing for sale. And the settlers and the homeowners know this. The homeowners know this market. So now it's not ingenuous. Now, if you've got a buyer who wants to buy a house and there's very little inventory, I'm telling you, get on the phone and call every homeowner in that neighborhood and say, listen, I got a buyer. Do you know if anybody who's thinking about selling? By the way, how long have you lived in the neighborhood? What do you like best about the neighborhood? Have you ever thought about moving? If you were going to move, where would you move to? Well, why not do this? I don't mind. We also give our neighbors an updated market analysis and tell you how much house is worth. Anyway, you could generate listings from just that one bullet right there. Power agents, guess I'm talking to power agents for a second. If you go to the classroom in the Power Program website, you're going to see all the topics that are there: buyers, farming, listing, appointment, prospecting. If you go to the farming, self-promotion, and mailing tab, you will see hundreds of pieces that are designed for future business. Okay, there's dialogue there, there's mailing pieces, so Power Agents is all there. Let me show you an example, everybody. So this is when I did the webinar on the marketing calendar. I want to show you October to December. One of the things we taught in that time of year is to do trunk or treat, because it's Halloween, right? Now I love this. My team, they know this. Every time I talk about this, I get super excited because I'm a father, and I was a very active father, and I tried to do a lot for my son when he was growing up. And as much as a good father I like to think I was, I never heard of this. I never heard of trunk or treat. To me, your kid gets dressed up, you go door to door, and you're knocking your bag, you got candy. The trunk or treat, for those, so if I didn't know it, maybe some of you don't know. I'm going to tell you what this is. The trunk or treat concept is, instead of going door to door, all the neighbors go meet in the parking lot and they decorate their trunks. They decorate their trunks. And the kids go from car to car to get the... Now, during the pandemic, I was really pushing the heck out of this last year because you're outdoors. It's a way to meet people. There's so many benefits to the trunk or treat. It's the neighbors get to meet each other. You can have a contest who has the best trunk. But look at this. And it's just a fun thing to do. So we told our power agents, listen, we created this campaign on how to do a trunk or treat with promotional flyers, mailings, sign up, a whole thing around this trunk or treat. I love this thing. So now we said, this was so successful. We said, well, what if, again, this is not now business. This is planting seeds. This is future business, networking. It's marketing. The definition of self-promotion, I said it, I'll say it again, is to have people know your name, your face, and what you do for a living. Your name, your face, what you do for a living. All these little things, they add up. So we said to some office, we were like, well, what if? What if we took this whole trunk or treat thing around Halloween? What about other holidays? There's Christmas, there's Thanksgiving, there's Valentine, whatever. So then we created this whole program now called the Parking Lot Party Planning Guide, where you can all these templates and marketing material for any holiday. Now, just give an example of some of these. New Year's Eve party, Valentine's party, a family day, Easter egg hunt. I love that one. The outdoor movie night. Joanne Mills, one of our power agents, she really mastered that one. I love that one. Summer fun, music festival. I'm not going to go through all these. So there's all these ideas. By the way, you don't do all of these because if you did all of these, you would be in the real estate business. You'd be too busy. You'd be in the party planning. But the idea is some agents, some of our students, they said that they really love like the movie idea. So how do I promote that? Some people like Thanksgiving. How do I promote that? So we create Larry Gardner, one of our power agents from Long Island. He's really great with the smile stops and parties and events. He probably do 2, 3, or 4 of these. So anyway, listen, guess, by the way, if you decide to sign up, there is a business plan. In the business plan, there's a whole section on future business, and some of the ideas are in there for you as well. Okay, so they know how much they're worth. They focus on building a business. They know how to generate now business. They know how to generate future business. Here's number 5. Is what I have learned, what I have noticed about super successful agents. By the way, this one over here is actually true of any salesperson, and actually great parents too. What I notice about great parents, successful parents, Successful salespeople in any industry, especially real estate, is they use stories, metaphors, and analogies to explain whatever it is that they're trying to explain. Now, you can take stories, and I'll give you some examples in a minute. In real estate, stories, metaphors, analogies fall into two categories. There is when you get an objection from a homeowner, for example. The objection is, I can sell this house myself. The other broker said they could sell it for a higher price, or the other broker will do it for less commission, yada, yada, yada. So those are objections. When you handle an objection, you got to use a metaphor analogy. Another one is when you're explaining marketing tools. So when you're talking to a homeowner and you're explaining broker's open house or public open house, how you do what you do in your business to get their property sold, each one of those items, you should explain it using a metaphor analogy. Let me start off. For example, you'd be saying to a homeowner, Mr. Ms. Hunt, if you're going to hire a contractor, right? You don't want to hire a whole team. And you want to hire a team that has all the tools necessary to do the job that you're hiring them to do. If you were building an extension onto your house, you wouldn't want to hire a single guy. You'd want to hire a team that has all of the tools necessary to do the job. See, what we do here at Power Realty, we wrote the book on how to sell your house in today's market. When you hire us, we have a whole toolkit of items that we use to get your property sold, to produce the result that you want. Let me share with you some of the marketing tools. So I might use the tool analogy as a segue into talking about my specific tools. MLS is a tool. Yard sign is a tool. Now, when I talk about yard sign, I use a metaphor. When I talk about broker's open house, I use a metaphor. But let me go to objections and give an example of that. Now, if you're a power agent of mine, I'm going to show some of my favorite ones. I love these. Like when they say we can save the commission. See, I've talked about this a lot, but it came up on a coaching call Monday, and I wanted to bring it up again. I'm going to show you guys some things because it's so in today's market, one of the challenges that I know you have is because it's such a hot seller's market. Listen to me. Because it's such a hot seller's market, sellers are saying, I don't need an agent. This market is so hot. I could put a for sale sign around my kid's neck, have them walk up and down in front of my yard, and I'd have that house sold before I have to call them in for dinner. I know this. So when you're talking to a homeowner, some of you are like, but Darryl, I can't ask for, $10, $20, $30,000 of commission because they're like, why would I pay that? It'd be lost. I'm going to show you. I need you to get this in your head. USA Today came out with an article in 1993. Now, 1993 is an old, not 19, sorry, wrong year, 2003. 1993 is when I started training. 2003, this article came out. For sale by owners could be a hard sell. Agents are often worth their weight in commission. Now, why would I show an article of 2003? Because any of you that have been in real estate as long as I have, you know what the market was like in 2003. It's similar to this market. In 2003, property values were going up double digits. It was such a hot market. Homeowners say, I'm not paying a commission. I don't need it. But meanwhile, USA Today, they did a study that said the opposite. As a matter of fact, agents are worth their weight in commission. Here's what the graphs, you see in the article, the graph in the right-hand corner, I'm going to zoom in because it'll be better, is they discovered that FSBOs that sold their own home in this hot sellers market back then, the average sales price was $137,400, but the homeowners who listed, the neighbors of those FSBOs who sold their home but listed with a realtor, the average sales price was $175,000. If you do the math, that means we sell houses for 21.49% higher than the for sale by owner. NAR, I don't show NAR's study. NAR did a study too. The numbers are pretty similar. I think it's 17%. And the reason why I don't show that one is because sometimes homeowners will be like, yeah, that's your study. USA Today, that was an awesome. But let me show you something else that's even more powerful. When you're talking to a homeowner, you say, I can sell it myself. I don't want to pay the commission. This guy for salebowner.com, the CEO who made a fortune on people telling him, don't list with a realtor. List your property here, and you're going to save $105. If you got a $2 million house, you're going to save $100,000 in commission, and you can do a lot with $100,000. This guy is telling people, do not list with a realtor. You'll save a ton of money. Watch. This came out in the Wall Street Journal. Founder and former CEO of ForSaleBowner.com, Colby Sembrano, tried selling his 2,000 square foot condominium on his own through classified ads and FSBO sites. But after 6 months, he hired a real estate broker. It goes on to say that he got multiple offers. He sold it for $150,000 more than his original FSBO price. And he paid not 2%, 3%. He paid 6% on $2 million. $2 million. You know how much that was? $129,000 commission. But wait, there's more. Let me show you something else. Let's go to this guy, buyowner.com. This CEO, he's saying, don't list with an agent. Don't list with realtors. List with me. Give me your money. But meanwhile, I think it's ironic that he's got realtor.com on his site. Okay, you're telling us not to work with, you're telling people not to work with realtors, but yet you're using realtor.com. That's interesting. Okay, so this guy's telling homeowners, don't list with a realtor. You don't need it. Not in this market. It's too hot. But check it out. When he wanted to sell his property in St. Petersburg Beach, he listed with a realtor. He listed a $3.78 million property with a Coldwell Banker agent. And here's the point that I'm trying to make, gang. Is even in this hot market, the seller's market, where homeowners feel like they don't need a commission, these guys who run a FSBO sites, they wouldn't even sell it on the sub or couldn't sell it on their own. They're listing with realtors. Now, come on. If these honchos who own these businesses are listing with realtors, why would any FSBO do that? The reason why they do is because it has been proven time and time again that homeowners who sell with an agent actually net more money after they pay in their commission. I told you, gang, I can't. I want to go. I could do a whole webinar on this. We don't have time. I got to keep going. Our attorneys will help us. I don't need you because I got an attorney who will help us. Or I can do this myself. Here's an analogy. This is a Broadway show, Aladdin. I'm putting that up there because I'm going to go see the show in a couple of months. Broadway's back, baby. Anyway, if you look at this picture, right, who's involved in putting together this show? Look at that picture. Who's involved? Obviously, costume, lighting design. So you got the costume design department, lighting design department, choreography, the musical part, costumes. You got all these people. They're talking to one person in rehearsal. Who is it? The director. You can't put this show together without a director. It'll bomb. In a real estate transaction, you got the same thing. You've got the sellers and you got the buyers. You've got the appraiser. You've got the engineer. You got the title company, the sellers. If they say they got an attorney, okay, they have an attorney. The buyers have an attorney. Home inspector, the bank rep. Here's what's interesting. In a real estate transaction, the sellers only talk to their attorney and to the buyers if they're a FSBO. They would never talk to the appraiser. They would never talk to the engineer. They would never talk to the buyer's attorney. The seller's attorney, if the homeowner says, I got an attorney who'll do it for me, that's why I don't need a realtor. Well, their attorney will only talk to the buyer's attorney and to the seller. They won't talk to the buyers or the appraiser or the engineer. You've got all these people not talking to one another. Any one of them has the power to kill the transaction. There's only one person everybody talks to, and that's me, the real estate professional. Mr. and Mrs. Hana, you trying to sell a house without an agent is like trying to put a Broadway show together without a director. It's going to bomb. Listen, if selling a house was as simple as finding a buyer, you wouldn't have to be licensed by the state to help other people do it, to not create a crime. So there must be more behind the curtains that you're not aware of that goes into producing this end result. Come on now, gang. This is a metaphor analogy to show the homeowner says, no, you still need an agent. You know, when you think of it, like a homeowner thinks selling a house is just taking some photos and putting it online and showing the property. Let me tell you something. There's a whole other set of things that goes into starting this monopoly game and bringing it to the finish line here. This is why you need to hire an agent. Listen, even if you say you'll do it yourself, you know what? What do they say when an attorney who represents himself has a fool for client? There's a reason why. It's because when you're emotionally involved, you can make mistakes. The job, if you look at the politics nowadays, I'm not getting into the politics. These are names we know. We know Rudy Giuliani. We know Michael Cohen. These are two attorneys that are having legal challenges. When they had to go to court, is Giuliani going for himself? No, he hired a law firm. Michael Cohen, did he represent? No, he hired an attorney. These guys could have hired themselves. They could have represented themselves, but there's a reason why. It's because you're emotionally involved. You can make mistakes. That's why you need to hire an agent. Here's another one. We have so many buyers. You don't have buyers, Mr. and Mrs. Hana. Watch this. Let's say you were going to buy a couch. You can have a choice. You can go to a furniture store like Ethan Allen. Is this a company you can trust? Absolutely. Are you going to pay top dollar? Yes. Do you know you're paying top dollar? As a matter of fact, if you make a commitment to get in a car and drive over to Ethan Allen to buy a couch, you're making a commitment to spending top dollar. You know this. Why would anybody buy a used stinky couch from eBay? You don't know if you can trust the sellers. You don't know if they couch the colors. You got to see it in person. It's a used couch. You don't know what it's been used for. Why would anybody buy a couch from eBay? Why? To save money. The whole business model of eBay is to get things at a discounted price. See, Mr. Masana, any buyer that walks into my office or my company, they know they're paying top dollar. Why? Because every house that a realtor is going to show the buyer, they know there's a commission built into the price. But the types of buyers we attract are not looking to steal a house. They're looking to buy a home from a company they can trust. In other words, I'm attracting the Ethan Allen buyers of real estate. The buyers you're attracting are not the same ones. They're the eBay buyers. That's why homeowners don't save money selling on their own. It's a different quality buyer. Here, bring us a buyer and then I'll pay you a commission. That's not good either. I mean, if you were to go, let's say your daughter was going to get married, you go to 6 bakers and you say, listen, I want a wedding cake. Now, whoever bakes me the best cake on the wedding day, I like that one the best. That's the one I'm going to buy. How many of these 6 bakers are going to spend the time, money, and resource to bake you a cake? None. Why? Because you didn't give a commitment to one baker to roll up their sleeves to work for you. It's the same thing here. When you tell all the real estate agents, bring me a buyer, I'll pay you a fee. You don't have one agent rolling up their sleeves, working hard, spending their time and money for you to get your house sold at the highest possible price. So here's the bottom line, gang. When it comes to handling objections, our house is nicer. We did all these improvements. We can always come down later. We need the money because of what we owe. We need the money because of the house we're buying. The other agent said that we can get more. This is what I want to teach you guys right now. When you go into a listing appointment, any one of these is a possible objection. You should not wing it. You should be prepared to handle each one. In other words, you should have a metaphor for each one because if possible, any one of those can show. My son, when he was younger, he used to play Xbox. He was so good at Xbox. I remember one time he said to me, Dad, be careful. There's a guy around the corner. My son knew the game so well, he knew the guy around the corner that I didn't see, and he was prepared to handle the guy around the corner. When you go into a listing appointment, everything on this screen is the guy around the corner. You need to be prepared to handle that objection. By the way, I just used a metaphor to teach you how important metaphors are. Do you see what I did there with the Xbox? Metaphors and analogies. Now, when it comes to that's handling objections. I told you have to have metaphors and analogies for also when you talk about marketing tools. So when you talk about MLS, you need to explain it using a metaphor. Or when you're talking about your website, when you're talking about brokers open house or public open house, each one of these you explain with a metaphor or analogy. Yard sign, mailings, lockbox, pre-qualifying buyers. Let me tell you something, gang. If you do this real good, here's what will happen for you. When you have metaphors and analogies for each one of these, the homeowner will interrupt you during your listing appointment. How many of you like a homeowner to interrupt you after your second or third marketing tool that you share and they say, you know what, just give me the paperwork, where do I sign? That's what will happen when you use metaphors and analogies on a listing appointment. I'm going to skip that, which, by the way, those guests, because I want to help you guys today. What we did, if you decide at the end of this you want to become a power agent, you're going to get emailed right away these 2 things, a PowerPoint slide deck of 103 slides, along with a training session on how to deliver a listing appointment. And on that are all the metaphors and analogies for MLS, yard sign, lockbox, fee sheet, and all that. And you get to keep it for the $5. If you decide to cancel, you keep it. All right. It's a gift. Number 6 is you've got to get good at putting deals together. One of the things I notice about successful agents in real estate, they're really good at putting deals together. I'm going to share with you one of our power agents, Vicki Yates. She said, I love this, second accepted offer today as a power agent. This from a buyer whose husband refused to sign a buyer's agreement. This was our 5th offer, and it finally happened. Again, thank you, Darryl Davis. I'll never work without a buyer agent's agreement again. So part of putting deals together is you need to get good at getting buyer agency agreements. See, there's a difference between a client and a customer. See, when a buyer comes to you from an open house or off of an ad, they're a customer. It's only until they hire you do they become a client. And when they become a client, you work differently with them. See, a customer, let me distinguish this. Let's pretend that I want to buy a car. So I go to the Audi dealer and say, I want to buy a car. And so the salesperson, so I'm the customer, and he's showing me or she's showing me the inventory. Okay. I don't like their inventory, what they showed me. Tell me if a salesperson would do this. Well, Darryl, okay, let's do this. Let's get in my car and let me drive you over to the Ford dealership. And let's see if we can find your car there. And if that doesn't work, that's okay. I'll drive you over to the Honda car dealer. And if you don't like something there, I'll just keep driving you to every car dealership, even if it's the Kia, until we find you the right car. Tell me, is that going to happen in any universe? Of course not. As a matter of fact, that doesn't happen in any industry, whether it's furniture, clothes, jewelry. Oh, but one industry, we do that. It's real estate, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense that a buyer comes to you and then you're going to stick them in your car and then bring them from house to house to house trying to find them a car that they're going to buy. They're a customer. You don't do that with clients. That's different. Clients, you have an obligation. There's a mutual commitment that they made to you and you to them to help them get to the house. And if you don't find them a house and they find a house, you're still going to represent and negotiate and coach them and guide them. See, tell me which is better. You take a buyer out and you show that buyer 10 houses, a customer, you say, hey, here's a house, or is it better to take one house and you show it 10 times? Which is better? The second one, of course. The second one is better. Because our car, our inventory, our shoes, our inventory is our houses. And what you should be doing is taking a house that looks like it's going to sell and you show it 10 times. If you take a house and you show it 10 times to 10 customers, you're going to sell that house. There's a motto that successful power agents live by: less stress, income higher, work the house, not the buyer. The buyer is the customer. The product is the house. Work the product. The exception is when they hire you to be their client. The second thing is you've got to learn how to present your own offers. Now, I don't have time to talk about that. I know some of you are like, that's not how we do it in our market. You give the offer to the listing agent, but by the listing agent presents it. I don't have to tell you. When you do that, you're at total disadvantage. You don't know what's happening. You're in the pool of other buyers. How many of you lost deals because you gave like above asking price, no mortgage contingency, no inspection, and still you didn't get your offer accepted? Why? Because how does that Hamilton song go? Because you weren't in the room where it happens. You need to be in the room where it happens. And power agents learn how to do that. By the way, power agents, and some of you guess you're going to become power agent today. There is a whole hour on how to get in the room where it happens, how to present your own offers with the listing agent. And that when you do that, you're going to get, like Vicky and all of our other power agents, you get your offers accepted. There's one other thing I want to say too, is for you, is that one of the things we create is an e-guide. We're going to give you that too. It's something you give to a buyer or to a seller when there's multiple offers to prepare them for the chaos that is going to ensue. And it's a really and you can customize it. You can put your photo and your contact information. So that's a gift. Here's the last thing I'm going to share with you. And then I'm going to give you guys some gifts. So hang in there. Is one of the habits is they keep the faith and they stay focused. Your attitude dictates your altitude. If your head is not screwed on right, I don't have to tell you, gang, it's hard to do this business. Watch this. You and I, in real estate, we are only good as our last commission check. We have to be self-starters. I can show you how to prospect and do things, but if you don't feel like prospecting, you're not going to prospect. If you don't feel like working, you're going to stay in bed or do something else. Your attitude dictates your altitude. I talked about the whole planting seeds. You've got to have the faith. When a farmer plants seeds, watch this. This is powerful. Watch this. When a farmer plants seeds, he doesn't go to bed that night and worry that it's not going to produce a crop. As a matter of fact, the farmer is the opposite. The farmer knows when he plants or she plants those seeds that it's definitely going to produce a result, right? So here's some suggestions I have for you to help your attitude and to stay positive the rest of this year. Number one is you got to have goals that you're passionate about. This is a picture of me running the New York City Marathon. You see me, I don't know who that guy grabbed my hand right at the last thing. 6 hours and 41 minutes, which is horrible time. You'll see in the bleachers, there was nobody there. The race was over hours ago. I hate running. I'm not into working out, but I did this for one reason. It's because I was committed to raising money for leukemia for children, because I found out that that's the number one blood disease killer of children. So, and I'm passionate about helping children. So I trained to run a marathon to raise money for leukemia. Okay. Now, every minute that I was doing the training, I hated it, every second of it, because I ain't into working out. It was hard for me to do. But you know what? Every morning I woke up and I had that little voice inside my head, the one that you have, says, I don't want to, I don't feel like it. This is uncomfortable. This is hard. Come on now. You have that little voice inside your head. I don't want to, I don't feel like it. This is uncomfortable. You know what had me not listen to that voice? Was my commitment to saving children's lives. When you have a commitment you're passionate about that's bigger than the noise in your head, that's how you create miracles. Some of you don't need to work harder. You got to get more committed. So what are you passionate about? Here's the other thing, too, I learned. When I heard about this, you see that picture? I heard about this, but, man, I experienced it. When I ran that New York City Marathon, I heard people on the side of the road. They were cheering me on. They're calling out my name. That energy, when you're around people who are really supportive and encouraging you, they had music there, they had bongo, they had people talking. It was incredible. There's bands. I even like these ladies. They were like, I hear there's free beer at the end of the finish line. I like this one. You got stamina, call me. That was my favorite. But here's my point. When you have people in your life, and I think that's one of my other tips, when you have other people encouraging you, supporting you, that's a powerful thing. So how you increase your energy level is you've got to be passionate about what you do. And how you get passionate, you got to love what you do. So I suggest, are you guys, Julie, are you still there?
I am. We just lost your screen.
Yep. Let me fix that. Give me 1 second, because I just saw that. Share my screen. Let's do that. So, gang, hang on there, gang. And let me hide this, and it should kick up in any second. It's loading, it says. So tell me that we're there. Julie, tell me that you can see it.
I will. It's loading now. We can see
listen. So here's what I'm telling you, gang, is make a list of what you're passionate about. Why are you doing this business? Something that will source your energy, something that you can get excited about. So number one is have passion goals. Number two is have that support structure, which I just talked about a moment ago. The part of being part of a support structure, the benefits of that is it'll take years off your learning without question. One of the things that power agents, they tell us, this is true about the power program, really takes so many years off of trying to figure it out. I've already been there, done it, and other power agents, they've been there, done it too. You will succeed quicker when you're around a supportive group, a group that's encouraging you when you need it the most. And artists and athletes, when you think about it, they have coaches. And the reason why is because sometimes you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. That's part of what a coach does for you. And it helps you stay focused, right? So being part of a group, which one of the things we do for our power agents is every Monday is our weekly coaching calls. It's like 2 hours. I can actually talk to you. It's part of a group. Those power agents, they love the weekly groups, our Facebook group. These are things that you need to be a part of to help you stay focused. So have your passion goals, have a support structure that helps you stay focused, and using motivational devices. I got to burn through this because I noticed we're almost coming at the end here. I have a gift for everybody. So you see all this, power agents? This is all the motivational devices that we have for you to help you stay focused and motivated on a regular, consistent basis. I'm big into hanging stuff up, paper. I mean, we're very tech savvy, but what I love about paper and hanging posters, you don't have to boot up a software. It's right there in your face. It keeps you motivated, like the dot board. I'm not going to get into teaching the dot board. I will tell you also, power agents, don't forget, we're sending out emails 5 times a week to help you stay focused. These are training emails with tips and techniques. So here, let me summarize what we're saying today, gang, is you got to know your worth. You got to have confidence in yourself. If you don't, who else is going to? You got to know how to generate now business. You got to generate, focus on building your business with inventory, focus on now business, focus on planting seeds for future business. Get good at using stories, metaphors, analogies. Learn those metaphors and analogies. Learn how to put your deals together because it's such a competing market right now. And lastly, keep the faith and stay focused on your business. Now, guess I have a gift for you. Empower agents, everybody stay on the call because we're going to open up the questions. So I'm going to do some coaching now. But I want to talk to the guests for a minute because we got a huge gift for you guys. If you want to become a power agent, you can do that for $5 and for 30 days. After the 30 days, it will go into Julie, I just had something weird happen again, so just tell me if we're still good.
Yes, we are.
We are? Okay. So you just interrupt me if we're not, because I just lost my screen. Complete access to the entire program. There's bonuses that you get today. I'm going to show you the bonuses, but let me explain the program really quick. Is that every Monday we have a live coaching call. You can actually talk to me. The thing about these webinars is it's a fire hose. I'm just teaching. And you can write your question, which we're going to go to in just a moment. But the Monday calls, you can actually talk to me. You take yourself off mute. You can ask questions. We record those calls. So we have to role play sometimes. You know, one of our power agents, Sean, I love what he says. I don't make a penny over doors and Darryl. The $5 drew me in, but you cannot spend a better $47 a month being coached by knowledgeable, etc. So here's just to be clear. So it's $5 for the first 30 days. You can cancel during that time. But if you decide to continue after the 30 days, it's $47 month to month, no long-term contract. There's also all of these webinars are on demand. Every week we have over 50 some odd, I think it's approaching 100 training sessions now. There's a closed Facebook group that is incredible. There's a dedicated Power Agent website, just to give you a glance of what that looks like. When you go to the classroom and you click there and you say, hey, you know what? I need some help with farming and self-promotion. So you click there and then you will see all of these forms, flyers, checklists. And by the way, everything in the Power Program website is customizable. So you can edit some of the content if you want. You can put your photo, your contact, and you own it like it's yours. There's a favorite tab that we added because there's so much content there that it goes into a separate folder for your account when you see things that you like. We use similar technology as Google. So if you type in, let's say, FSBO, everything FSBO related shows up in your search, whether it's an ad, whether it's the dialogue, whether it's a training session, and it's all right there for you. Here's the bonuses. I'll explain these. I gave you a screenshot, but now I'll explain it. This is a PowerPoint presentation that you're going to get today, right away. There's a recording video on how to deliver a listing appointment, specifically to FSBOs, the breakthrough business plan on how to generate now business, future business, and financial freedom. If you're a new agent or an experienced agent that needs to restart your business, we have a 29-page guide. Here's what you need to do in the next 60 days to restart your business. You get to keep all of this, so which is awesome. You get the 12 most requested dialogues, like the FSBO and the expireds, the ones that I'm famous for. The 184 ways, it's an e-guide on what you do to earn your commission. You can use that on listing appointments. You can give it as an email. You can print it out and use it on appointments. Giving a customizable guide for buyers or sellers on how to deal with the multiple offer situation, along with a spreadsheet that when you're the listing agent, you can show the homeowner, here's all the different offers that we have. Here, let's look at it from a number standpoint, which one's better for you. Plus, if you need a CRM, plus a copy of today's slides, a copy of this recording, and if you need a CRM, contact management, we have what's called Power Builder. That's you can get for 30 days. The value on this is $1,900, but you get to keep everything for $5 if you decide during the trial. And that's the gift that we have for you guys. So with that said, we're going to now open up to questions. So this is an opportunity for you to ask me a question. Julie will read the question, and then I'll give you my answer. It could be about today's topic. It could be anything real estate, appointments, whatever, or about the program, whatever you need. I'm here for you now. Go, Julie.
Well, what's not on that slide, but has been a lot of people's question is how do they get the first 30 days of RedX for free without the, what do you call it? The setup fee, and that is
here's how you do that. So when you're a power agent, after you sign up and you go to classroom, so first you have to become power agent, And then you'll see this Red X button. So just go to Red X, you click there, and that's how you can get the 30 days there. Next
And no
question.
setup. So awesome. Thank you. Let's see. How do you find old FSBOs that didn't sell?
Okay, so the way to do that is also through the Red X. They have they keep a history of the old for sale by owners and old expireds from months ago. So when you get that account, you'll be able to access those as well. Next
And
question.
while we're on that, how do you get phone numbers? Red X can help you there as well.
Red X, we love Red X.
Yeah, geo leads, right?
When it comes to now business, Red X is the bomb.
Awesome. How many should you mail per month if you're starting a farm?
Great question. When it comes to mailings, which, by the way, I'm just going to show you something about mailings. Mailings is a numbers game. So first of all, there you'll see here, it says calculator farm area video and then calculator farm area spreadsheet. And what this is, if let's say you're trying to decide that question, like should I mail farm to this area or farm to that area? Should I put 500 mailings or 1,000 mailings? This spreadsheet, along with the video, will help you financially calculate based on the turnover rate for that area. There's a whole process to it. But now, if let's say you didn't, that's the long answer. The short answer is it's a numbers game. So I think anything less than 500 pieces is not ideal. And now, if you're in 500 would be the minimum, unless you're in a market where properties are spread out over acres and 500 would be the whole town or the whole county. Then obviously that's not the case. So you can go with a smaller number, but that's the rule of thumb. Next question, Julie.
How can flippers get away with purchasing so many houses without a license and then turn around and sell so many per year? I was told if a person sells more than 8 homes a year, they need a license. Do you know the answer?
Yeah, so that would be a state question. So it depends on what your individual state has, because every real estate license is not federally regulated. It's regulated by the state. So check with your state.
Julie wants to know, are all these guys that you are offering, are they already available to current power agents? Of course.
Yeah, so if you're a current power agent, everything that so current power agents, here's what happens. So this webinar is recorded. After it's recorded, it does take a day or two, but it's going to go here, webinars on demand. So, and the reason why it takes a little bit extra because of what we do for you guys. So remember how I said about how to get your offers accepted in today's crazy real estate market? These webinars on demand are taught based on the order that I taught them in. So that's why you'll see the dates every week. So this one here, how to find fence sitting sellers and hidden listings, that was last week's webinar. Now, when you click on that webinar, there is the recording, but power agents, there is the download the slides. So for example, all the slides that I showed you today, they're going to be on the website for you. There's other ways to get all of that information, but that's one of the easiest. But everything that I taught is in the Power program. So, and a lot of what I taught today was maybe from farming. So if I go to farming, for example, I'm going to go to the e-guide if I can find e-guide.
Perfect.
Which one did I teach today? Okay. Remember the 184 items that we said was part of the bonuses, and there's the parking lot planner. So
Yay.
I know that took us a while.
We've been working on that for a year.
For a long time. So right now they're downloading. They're really big guides. So I probably shouldn't have picked those. So give it a second. And when they're done loading, I'll show you what it looks like and show you how to edit it. So let's go to the next question, and I'll keep my eye on it as it's downloading. Go ahead.
Perfect. Under contract, but buyers want to continue to look for more properties. What should I come back to assist my sellers to help hold their ground, but get to the closing table?
I don't understand
that question.
Okay, let's go to the next question.
I read that the bottom is falling out on Zillow. What's your opinion?
No, the bottom's not. No, what's happening with Zillow is Zillow has become a competing broker, and they are listing and selling real estate, and they're part of NAR. And so it's a real concern for some agents, as it should be. because they're now a brokerage. So what's happening, what we're hoping is happening, is more and more premier agents that are giving Zillow money will stop doing that, because all they're doing is, that would be similar to, let's say I was a Century 21 agent and I asked Exit Realty to take my money to advertise me. That makes no sense, but that's exactly what's happening right now, because they became a broker. Zillow was a media company. They're no longer that. They are now a real estate brokerage firm, and we should stop giving their money. So
absolutely. Linda says, I wouldn't mind investing in my business if I knew what I did was going to give me a return on investment. So much of what we do wastes money.
Yeah, that's a great point. And this is why when it comes to spending money in marketing and stuff, you should not spend money you don't have. So I'm really strong on that. So I'm going to summarize. Boy, these files are really huge. And I know a lot of power agents are hitting the website right now. Plus, yes. I got the webinar. It's taking up bandwidth. I'm just looking at my screen and it's still loading.
The e-guides are gigantic.
I normally like this, but that's because I'm also taking the bandwidth on the webinar. Anyway, here's the plan. And by the way, let me just go to this. For those of you, you see this guide here that says the 29, the new agent, the 29 pages. This guide, I say, like, if you don't have money, what you should be doing is doing guerrilla techniques that cost no money, like getting on the telephone, doing door knocking. Like, there's ways to build your business without spending a dime. Now, once you start having your business generate cash flow, you're getting listings, you're making some sales, then you take that money and you invest it into growing your business the next level, which is the mailings. And you're right, some of these mailings, they don't pay off. I will tell you this, the Direct Marketing Association has done a study on this, that a homeowner needs to see the same message 6 to 8 times before they'll take action. So if you go based on that, if you do 1 mailing or 2 mailings, you're wasting money. You have to commit to at least 6, preferably 8 to 12, till you'll start seeing return on that investment. This is the guide that I talked about, the 100, not the guide, but the 184 things that we do to earn our commission. I want to show you something. At the end of this guide is my photo, but watch this. See that? Oh, that's gone. Oh, you see this? What you can do with this guide is you put your contact information, you put your photo, and all of our pieces are like that you can customize any one of them. So the parking lot one, let me open up the parking lot one, because that's the new one. This, gang, is the guide that we just, this is the new latest one that we just created. And everything that's in here, if you decided you wanted to edit it in some fashion, you can do it, okay? There's the Halloween party, the food drive. What's that?
The templates for that. Like, it is a guide for you, but there are templates for each one of those pieces in this guide.
Yeah, I'm just showing you how I'm moving stuff around to show you that it's editable. And so if you wanted to have a movie theater night, there's the template that you can tweak and work with. All right, next question, Julie.
Perfect. Where do I find the top 184 guide? That's in farming.
I just did that. It's in the farming, and it's going to be under e-guide. So the website is also alphabetical. So for example, let's say I'm looking for a flyer, go to F for flyer. Look at all the flyers. This is in the farming and self-promotion. I'm not going to waste time clicking on these, but all of these are customizable, right? There's over 500 forms, flyers, and checklists. As something that I'm real proud that we did, because this took a lot of energy, time, and money, but I'm glad we did it. We actually, anything that you would give to a consumer, to a civilian, whether it's a buyer or seller, we have a Spanish version of it. So what you would do is click on, like, this is the interior, exterior flyer. So if I click on the Spanish, it'll download that and it'll open up and you'll see that's Spanish. The other thing, as I said, is there's a favorite feature, because there's so much content here. If you decide these are all the letters and I really like this farming letter, if you click on that favorite, it'll go into a separate folder for you. And I'll show you that in a minute. But here is this flyer, the Spanish version of it, preparing your home for the winter, and that's that one. Okay. Now, next question, Julie.
Christy just says, paying Zillow is a waste of money. The Power Agent program is not. Thank you for helping me succeed as a Power Agent. Oh, Christy.
Oh, that was sweet. Thank you, hon. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mary.
How often is your content updated and new material added? It seems like every week.
Listen, here's I'm going to show you something. How often is it updated? It's updated weekly.
Yes.
I'm laughing because this is every week we send out. This is new stuff we're sending out. So Saturday strategy, there was an infographic that we created for the power agents. There is a home buyer's checklist that we created that goes out on a tech toolkit, whatever day that was.
Look at Thursday.
Okay, and then webinar Wednesday. That's just a webinar reminder. Tuesday training session, a blog article we wrote. Then there's weekly calendars that we create every week. So every week that's new, and there's a monthly calendar that we create for power agents. You will not find any real estate training program that has the depth of content that's updated weekly that you'll find with the power program. Which, by the way, with that said, we have this little chat feature too. We have real human beings behind the chat. So what happens, how this works is, first of all, you can call us. But if you need, and sometimes we'll call you. So if, let's say, you send out a message about whatever, like I can't find something, everybody in my team gets that message. And then one person decides who's going to answer it because they're the best person in my company to answer that question. So, for example, if you had a billing question and you wrote it there, everybody would see it, but Gail would respond to that one. If something about the website, Sarah probably, or Julie would. So next question.
Perfect. As a power agent, where do I find the motivational devices that you mentioned?
Oh, okay. That's good. So first of all, you're going to get a copy of this recording, but most of the motivational devices are classroom, and it's time and money management. So a lot of the motivational pieces are there. So there you're going to find the calendar for the month. There's the marketing calendar. There's the weekly calendar. There's the prospecting activity tracker. There's your goal thing, the listing inventory chart, the dot board, do not disturb sign when you're prospecting, telling people, leave me alone, I'm making it rain. There's the easy business plan, the breakthrough for tracking your appointments, which I showed today, how to track your net worth. Here's a recommended schedule for the day. So anyway, that's it. And if you go to webinars on demand, you'll find a session just on motivation. Okay.
Perfect. Linda says there was a Pam on the call. I'd like to find out where she's located to see if we could support each other. I just wanted you to showcase in the dashboard the directory, so how power agents can find each other.
So we have this directory for power agents, and which I absolutely love, because the directory, what's happening is power agents are actually making money just from referring business to one another. Now, we're still trying to get agents. Some agents don't have their photos, which we keep trying to remind people, put your photo, because it's bad advertisement for you to not have your photo. But if, let's say, you needed a power agent, I'm going to use New York as an example. Maybe not the whole state of New York, but let's say I type in Flushing, and hopefully we'll find a Flushing power agent. There's 2 power agents in Flushing, one Alex and Paula. And then what if I wanted to click on Alex's contact information to find out more about him? There's his bio. Great job, Alex, on the bio. Love it. There's some of his social media. There's some of his designations, phone number to contact him. Bada bing, there you go. So, if you're a power agent, watch them right now. When you log into the directory, when you're logged in, there's a way for you to update your profile. You'll see there. When you click on update, I'm in Sarah's profile. Sarah, you changed your photo, and and here's how you can update.
Yes, I did.
So you can update your profile. Actually, I think I like the other photo, by the way. The same. I'm going to take that off because I know Sarah's pissed at me right now. Okay, so there you go. Sarah's one of the shy ones. Okay, next question.
Do you address time management, setting priorities in your materials? We do. You just actually showed that. So that's actually, and it's a big conversation in our coaching calls as well. On that note, what time are the coaching calls?
coaching calls are at 11 o'clock Eastern time. They go for we bill them as an hour, but they never go an hour. They go an hour and a half, 2 hours, because the goal here is I don't get off the phone until everybody's question gets answered. So what happens then is we record the calls, and you'll see, again, they're weekly if you look at the dates. But like the call that we just had this Monday, it was, you probably can't see it right now. It's 1 hour and 57 minutes. This is an hour and 19, 2 hours here. And so what happens is you can listen to it now. Sometimes I'll role play like a power agent and say, Darryl, I'm having problems calling FSBOs. I need help with that. And then I'll role play with them, and it's being recorded, and I'll tell them, pay attention to the time now. Like we're an hour into this call. So fast forward in the recording an hour when we post it, and you'll hear me role play you, and you can listen to it over and over again. So
wonderful. Suma says, I just enrolled in the trial. Will I get a receipt? And how do I access all of the downloads?
Yeah. So first of all, who asked that question?
Suma. You're going to get an email with all of those bonuses. So when you go to Darryl, I'm trying to see the trial. When you go to the trial, I'm all over the place. Sorry, let me just talk. When you now that you signed up, check your email. Your email will give you a link to all the downloads that I talked about today on the screen, which that I'm going to go to. So everything that I said that's here, you're going to get a link to download all those things, along with a username and password to access the website where you'll find more stuff for you. So that should answer the question. Next question. Oh, wait, there's more. Yes. So do you have a material that I can send out to my sphere of influence monthly? Yes, there's so much content.
Yes,
newsletters are great for that. We've got letters that you can send out. So let's see. Does Reddit?
Julie, hang on. So as far as what was the question, Julie?
Do you have monthly material that I can send to my sphere of influence?
Yeah. So the how we work this is the material that we have. We don't give it to you. Say, all right, here's what you should mail out this month. This is what you should mail out. We do give suggestions, but this is for you to go to the site and look at. Okay, I like this. You know, right now we're going into hurricane season. It's not the case, but if I'm just looking at it, it's right there. Well, there's a piece for you to send out. When we're going into winter in the Northeast, there's a piece for you. So this is like a smorgasbord of stuff for you. And what you can do, remember I said click on the favorite, that little favorite feature. When you go to the favorite tab, this is all of it takes everything from the website and it puts it in a separate folder. And if you remember earlier on this call, I favorited one of the farming letters, and there it is. So this becomes your own little holding place of all the great stuff that's there. Okay. Next question.
Carl said, for $5, it's worth signing up and seeing everything in the program. I'm currently in the trial, and there's so much product there. Thank you, Carla.
There's so much. I'm going to tell you some, gang. I used to joke, you know what you can do is you can sign up and then download everything and then cancel, and then you got everything in the program for $5. But it's impossible because there's so much great stuff here. So plus you want to be part of the coaching and the Monday calls, the Wednesday webinars, and da. Okay, next question.
Exactly. How can I develop an individual niche? My market is saturated with agents.
Yeah, that's a good question. So it depends on what you can do is focus on another niche. So not a geographic, like it could be one of our power agents. He just wanted to do vacant land. So then he created a whole slogan, outstanding in his field, with him standing out in a field, raising his hands. And that was his business card. And that became his slogan. So you can focus on land property. You can focus on new construction. You can focus on $1 million properties. You can focus on, in other words,
seniors, first-time home buyers, renters.
Yeah. So what you could do is not do just geographic, but actually now we're down, become a specialist. It's kind of like a doctor, right? So you have a doctor, general practitioner, or a specialist. They're both doctors, but the specialist is going to make more money than the general practitioner. By the way, I just used an analogy to help teach what I was trying to teach there. I just want to highlight again how powerful analogies are. Next question.
Are there blog posts that we can post written as us? Can I take that one?
Yeah.
We don't have blog posts per se, but what most of our power agents do is they'll take the content from the flyers and they'll make that their blog post. So maybe it's 5 things to change the ROI or 5 things for curb appeal. So they'll take the content out and they'll use that as blog posts.
I'll give an example. So I told you one of the things that we do have, like what to send out monthly, we do have is newsletters. So let me go to the ends for a newsletter. Right now I'm in a letter. So here's the newsletter. So what Julie is saying, which some power agents do, and it's taken a while to load right now because I went down the page too quick. But these, it doesn't look pretty right now. But these newsletters, April, February, it's every month of the year. And we update those as well. So what some power agents will do is take the content from the newsletters and create a blog around that. So, boy, this is really embarrassing that it's taking so long to open. Let me close some stuff here. Okay. Oh, here we go. So I'll give you, for instance, this. We're going into July. So I'm going to open up the July newsletter, which, again, these are all PowerPoint. And the reason why that's really awesome is because most computers already have this software, PowerPoint. Even Macs have the adapting thing. And that way you don't have to learn a new software, right? You just open it up. This is the July newsletter. And as I had said to you guys, you can customize it. So let's say we're talking about, air conditioning here, right? So if you don't like what we wrote and you want to change it, watch what I just did. I just deleted it. So you can edit the newsletter. Now, one of our power agents, Walter Florian, he said, I just mail them out because they're so well written. But going back to the question, you can take this maintenance tip and I can copy it. Now watch what I'm going to do here. I right click, I'm going to copy this. And if I, just as an example, open up my Word software, I can now paste it, and there is the article from that newsletter, and there's my blog. So I will tell you, gang, for the guests, and even for our current power agents, you have at your disposal a web designer, an image graphic designer, writers, marketers for $47 a month. There's so much content here. You have a whole entire business team behind you with this program. Next question, Julie.
Well, and you have thousands of agents around the country as well that are behind you. So
yeah, I should probably go to the Facebook thing, or being that you said that. So and let me see if I could just find that. Did I just, I know why. Okay. But go to the next question while I do that.
We've got so many power agents. I'm publishing them now. So many power agents with so many kind words. Power agent program has been so worth it. Great library. We don't have to reinvent any wheels. Create something new when we need it. Super resource. Thanks, Heidi. Roger wants to know, is the short sale business model dying because of appreciating values?
I'm sorry. I just saw this funny photo.
I know.
I'm in the Power Agent Facebook group, and I actually think that's a great idea for some reason. I kind of like it. But storm door over the bathroom. But anyway, this is the Facebook group where this is Gail. Gail does our Tech Tuesday. So when you guys have what she does is every Tuesday, she teaches the website. So if you have a question about the Power Program website, you can ask her and she'll show you where stuff is. So every Tuesday that's there. And those are just some personal photos. So we use it as a training platform for you, pretty much, Facebook. I'm sorry, gang. I just got married, so people were posting photos of that. This is the coaching call on Monday where you can talk to me. We actually use the Zoom because Zoom has the ability where you can call in on your phone like a teleconference, but get the added benefit of recording the video and streaming it to Facebook. So the Monday coaching calls are actually streamed via Zoom because then power agents also ask questions and comments, and plus you get the recording that way as well. This is just from this past Monday's call. So just some great stuff. Okay, Julie, I'm sorry, you had a question that I just didn't answer.
I did, but now that just went totally out of my head. So we'll go to the next one while I look for that. Linda asked, how long is the $5 good for? How long is the $47 a month good for? Can one cancel at any time, or do you have to invest in a year?
Yeah, you can cancel anytime. So first of all, the $5 is 30 days. So that's it. When you sign up today, which we recommend that you do for so many reasons. But anyway, $5 for 30 days, complete access plus all the gifts. Day 29, you can cancel if you want. If you don't cancel, it's $47. Now the value is $197, but we are anybody that signs up now, you're grandfathered in. So when we raise the price back, you're not going to pay the higher price. So you are locked in. But you can cancel anytime. So it's not a year contract, 2 years. It's month to month. So any month you want to cancel, you just cancel. Next question.
Okay. Where do I find the e-guides that you showed in the beginning? I think the beginning ones were in farming, but there are e-guides almost like in buyers. There's e-guides in farming, and definitely in prospecting, you'll find all kinds of e-guides. Plus our seller's guide to real estate and our buyer's guide to real estate.
Let's use the search as an example. So
Perfect.
if you just type an e-guide, every e-guide that's anywhere on the site is going to show up. And there's actually some things that are ads for e-guides. So that's another way to do it. You can just type in the word e-guide. Another way of doing it is type in the word guide. But I can tell you, because I know where they are, most, if not all, are in the farming tab. So if you go to the farming self-promotion and go down to E for e-guide, there is the easy move guide, the farming field guide, the good move for kids guide, the parking lot party planning, the 184 reasons what an agent does. I like this one, the 8 risks homeowners take when selling on their own. There's that trunk or treat guide. Anyway, the guides are awesome.
They are. Let's see. Oh, the question was about short sales. Do you think that's dying? I think we're going to see a resurgence of short sales, and
we might see if the market changes, then we'll see a resurgence of short sales.
Right. And Roger has a question about distressed homeowners as well. We do have some materials for that, but obviously, as the market changes, we respond to the market, right? So as things like right now, it's inventory, so that's what we're responding to. So as things change, you'll see those new materials added every week.
Yeah. So here's when one of the things that Power Agent said that they loved is that when the pandemic hit and our world got changed. It was in March, and April was really crazy. People didn't know what to do. My company, we jumped in. We said, all right, here's what you do. Here's how to do it. And so Power Agent said, you basically, they really appreciated how we guided them through how to get through the market. So if the market changes and the bubble busts, we'll create new promotion material, new training. Like, we'll be there for you. You will not be alone. That's for sure. Next question.
Yes. So Ida asks, is the $5 still going to Feeding America?
Yes. No. We hit our goal, so we're not doing that anymore, Ida, because we hit the goal of 100,000 meals. We just hit that a couple of days ago.
Actually exceeded it.
We exceeded it. Yep. So, but our goal is 100,000 meals. So we're going to come up with a new program at some point. But next
where would you start to reinvigorate your business if you want to restart?
It's wow. That sounds like a personal question, Paul. It depends on what you have to work with right now. So if, let's say, you're a farmer and you had a drought and you had to start over, I want to go into your barn and look at what you had at your disposal to kind of give you that advice. So it's hard for me to tell you. That's a real personal question. If you're a Power Agent or you become Power Agent, make sure you're on Monday's coaching call. The next Monday, we're moving to Tuesday. So everybody's going to get a notice. This next one is going to be on Tuesday at 11 o'clock. But other than that, anyway, so Paul, be on that call and let's chat. Next question.
Have you ever helped a person who is challenged with not being able to implement a business plan and stay focused?
Yeah, Linda, I'll be honest with you, Linda. I am not a fan of really complicated business plans. I took a course with Goldman Sachs. It was like a business management course last year, a year and a half ago. And, I had to write a business plan. It was a little painful for me because I'm just not wired that way. I'm a little bit more self-expressive. So here's what I would suggest, Linda, because this is what I would personally do. There's stuff in the time management stuff that's based on my style. Like this here, it says my 3-month commitment. Like if you were going to just have one thing, a miracle that you wanted to happen in the next 90 days, what would that be? And what are the specific strategies you would do? The other one, which I love this one, is the activity chart. I'm going to open this one because here's why. Because to me, this really answers that question. We know building inventory is important, right? So this activity chart, what it's designed to do is to have you focus on doing as many items on this as you can every day, right? Now you may only do 1 or 2 items. So it may be, let's say Sunday, I may only call 5 past clients and I'll post a social media live video. Well, at least I did those 2 things. Monday, maybe I'll do 2 other ones, or I'll do a 3rd one. In other words, if every day you're doing something to plant seeds for your farm to produce a result, that's a powerful thing. So, Linda, to me, this is the answer to. I'm not a business plan person. Just focus on daily activities.
Well, I would say the daily calendar or the weekly calendar is a great thing for you as well, Linda. Our power agents tell us that having that weekly calendar, that what do I get? What's the one thing I can do today to move the needle? That's really helped them stay focused and really committed.
This is the calendar that Julie's talking about. What we created, like, listen, if you're confused what to do today, here's at least one suggestion for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So there's that. Plus what Julie said was the weekly calendar, which this one's my favorite, Linda, is what we do is Julie takes, so for this week here, she'll take this week and create a weekly. So this stuff here is from the big calendar. But what I love about it is this over here. Sometimes you can work a whole week, feel super busy, and yet feel like you didn't accomplish anything. So this is, listen, if of all this stuff you're going to do this week, what are those 3 major things you must do? And if you do those 3 things, you're going to feel a sense of accomplishment. Like I just did that this morning. You can't see my list, but this is a version of that. I have 6. These are no matter what today, I got to make sure I do these 6 things. I have 60 to-dos, but these 6 I'm going to do today. And it makes you have a sense of accomplishment, Linda. So to summarize, focus on specific activities, and that's the idea.
Don't overcomplicate it, right?
Yeah.
Can you answer this question again? I've been sending so many mailers and getting no responses. Can you give me some advice?
Yeah, Grace, the answer to your question is that if you're not getting response, it could be the pieces are not good pieces. It could be you're not mailing enough pieces. You could be not done it enough. Like if you've only mailed out 2 or 3, it takes at least 6 mailings to get any response. 6 to 8. There are exceptions. Sometimes an agent will send out 1 piece and they get 2 calls. I've seen that happen. But that is not the statistic. The statistic is 6 to 8. You could be mailing in an area of Florida, Palm Beach, just said, where there's a low turnover of properties. Nobody's selling, so there's no response there. So whatever your name was, I'm sorry, it just went away on the screen. The answer to your question is it's one of those things that I just said. So,
and also follow up, right? So a lot of agents think, oh, I'll just send. One of the keys to prospecting is send, but also making those calls and showing up at, in the community. So you've got to do all 3. You've got to send things, you've all got to call people, and you've got to make sure that you're seen, that you're part of the community, that they see you in the neighborhood. So it's a combination platter. Just sending is not the formula for success.
Exactly.
Do you address working with assistants or when it's an advantage to work with a partner?
Denise, yeah. So when it comes to, so we don't teach how to work with assistants, team building. We don't teach that to the mass of groups. And the reason why is because the majority of agents don't have a team or assistant. So I don't spend the time doing that. Now, if Denise, let's say you're on the coaching call on Monday, Tuesday, this coming week. But if you're on the coaching call, you say, Darryl, I have an assistant, I'm having a problem. Darryl, I need an assistant, I don't know where to start. Then I can coach you on it. So it's not that I don't know how to help build a team, hire an assistant, train an assistant. We just don't really have content for that on the website or webinars on it. But I'm there to help you if you have that question.
Awesome. Do you have social media content? On that note, I know you can share our tech tools and training, but we actually have a Power Agent exclusive webinar Thursday with a LinkedIn specialist. So Power Agents, you can get to that through your webinar registration and your dashboard. But we're super excited about that. Jennifer Darling's one of the top LinkedIn specialists, and she's going to talk about how to increase your leads with LinkedIn on Thursday.
So Thursday, we're going to do that session on LinkedIn. Next Wednesday, how to prepare your buyers in a seller's market and get your offer, get them like writing offers. This is a Zillow training that we're doing. Now that they're a competing broker, what do you do? Do you recommend me this program?
We recommend everybody take this program. I mean, for $5, you've got everything to gain, nothing to lose.
Yes. Next question. Or was there another question, Julie?
Well, that was social media. So in tech tools and training, you're going to find all kinds of e-guides for managing social media and how to set up your LinkedIn, how to set up your Facebook, how to set up your Instagram. So all of that is in the tech tools and training, as well as actual training videos.
So there's the training that for tech stuff, which, like Julie says, in tech tools training as far as social media. And if you wanted graphics or things to post on social media, we have that as well. In addition, if you need a Power Builder, CRM, we have what's called Power Builder. That also has automated publishing to social media. So our CRM that are for Power Agents has that as an option where you connect your social media account and it's a set and forget. So every day you're going to have something posted on your site for you. Next question.
Fantastic. What if I'm a past Power Agent? How do I get restarted?
If you're a past Power Agent, if you were at the 27, you'll now be coming in at the 47. That's why it's good to lock in when you can. But if you go to that little chat button on the website, you can say, hey, that's when you'll send a message saying, my name is so-and-so, I'm a past Power Agent, I'd like to reactivate my account. Okay.
So how do I log in to my dashboard? You're going to go to darrylspeaks.com.
Yep. So, if you go to the main website, darrylspeaks.com, this is it here. I'm currently logged in right now as Sarah, but at the upper right-hand corner, instead of Sarah, it would say log me in. And that's how you get to the site. So just go to darrylspeaks.com, log in the upper right-hand corner, and then you'll have access to everything that's here.
Perfect. If you can just showcase that dashboard again, Darryl, so people know how to register for the upcoming webinars. Thank you.
The dashboard is like the main section where you can navigate the whole site. So I'll go through all of these 8 things really quick. Classroom, I've been clicking in the whole time during this call. The coaching calls is where you can get the telephone number information to call for the Monday coaching calls, although the next one's Tuesday. Plus all the recordings are there as well. So every weekly recording is there. The CRM Builder, if you do not have a CRM, we highly recommend the Power Builder. And the reason why is because everything that's in the website, the letters, and some of the flyers, the newsletter, is actually part of the Power Builder as well. So now you don't have to import it because we've done that for you. The directory to get referrals and to set up your profile is there. This brings you right to the Facebook closed group just for Power Agents. Now, when you go there, we have to admit you in. So it'll take maybe 12 hours for you to get admitted. It's going to ask you what your email is. You should use the same email that you used to set up your Power Agent account. There is a page to give you some familiarity with the whole program and the websites. We have that, your profile billing and webinar registration that Julie wanted me to actually point out. All you have to do is click, if you just click here, because I'm logged in as Sarah, it knows all my information and it'll automatically register me. So you will not have to fill out a registration form. Just click on the button, will register you. And then your link, and you'll see here, now that I'm signed in, right? Like it tells me here's the Zoom link. So if let's say you get you're going to get an email to the link for the webinar you register for, right? But if let's say that you lost that email or whatever, it'll store it here for you. So all you have to do is, again, go to Classroom or Dashboard and go to Webinar Registration, and it'll bring you to this page, and then you can go to the webinar. Next question.
Perfect. Let's see, I signed up to be a Power Agent. I haven't received my email. Give it a few minutes. I know there's a lot of people on the site right now, but it will come in your email. Also, you'll want to check your spam filter. Sometimes it lands in there first.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of people signing up, so it may get a little sluggish during this time right now. But yes, like Julie said, check your spam. You can also search your email for Darryl, Darryl. I'm sure I'm the only Darryl in your inbox. And or Power Agent, Power Program. Those are just some of the searches. What else? We are going to be ending the webinar. So as soon as we end it, that little floating button on your screen is going to go away. So I highly recommend right now, if you want to become Power Agent, at least try it for the 30 days, pay the $5, get all this great content, which is almost $2,000 of value. And then get to know us some more. Get involved for the next 30 days. If not, just keep the stuff as a gift for being here today for $5. But I would click on that Start My Trial button right now, because when we end this webinar, that's going to go away. So that's how you want to register. Okay.
Perfect.
Is there any other questions, Julie?
I think that's it.
All right. That means we're going to end the webinar now. So with that said, you don't have to stay on the screen anymore. Click on that button. Get started. When you click on that button, you fill it out. If you have any questions, there's any challenge, just remember DarrylSpeaks.com, right? DarrylSpeaks.com will bring you to the website. And then there's that little chat button, and you can say, hey, Sarah, I didn't get my login information. I just signed up, and she'll help you through. So we're there for you. What's all this stuff that's popping up on the screen right now?
Dave said, Power Agent from Colorado. I had a question, forgot to write it down. I'm so busy since I've been so engaged because of your coaching tips. Dave asked, Dave, anybody that has questions afterwards, you can do it as Darryl just said. You can go to DarrylSpeaks.com. We're there for you guys.
No, but let me stay here. If he's a Power Agent, does he have a question?
What's your question, Dave? Tell us, ask us your question.
Yeah, Dave, if you have a question, but we'll follow up. No. I appreciate your time. Dave, you can ask me now if you want to. So I'll stay for you. You're a Power Agent. I'll stay.
Stay for you.
Yeah. So Dave, if you want to ask your question now, ask it now. And if you don't want to for whatever reason, Dave, nope, I forgot the question. Nope, I forgot the question. Okay. Well, Dave, you should probably check your medicine dosage.
We do have fun on our coaching calls.
Here's what you do, Dave. If you remember the question in the next couple of minutes of today or whatever, then send it via the website. Don't wait for the coaching call. Just send your question in a chat, and then my team will get it to me, and I'll answer it for you, okay?
Yep. Also, if you have coaching, those of you who are Power Agents, if you go to that coaching call tab, you can actually ask your question in advance, and those questions will be answered at the top of the weekly coaching calls. So you see that little have a question. You can just submit your question right there. We'll answer that. Even if you can't be on the next coaching call, know that we're going to answer that for you, and you can just check the top of the call. As Darryl showed before, all those calls are recorded. It's all right there for you. You can watch it in the Facebook group, or you can go to the coaching call tab of your classroom and listen to it.
All right, cool. All right, so with that said, we're done. So I hope this is valuable for you. Please click on that Start My Trial right now because we are going to close this page right now. So I thank everybody for coming. Don't forget, we don't just listen to real estate. We actually help people get to their next level in their life. And the money you make is a gauge as to how many lives you've touched. So if you focus more on helping people, serving and not selling, coaching, not closing, helping people get to their next level, like if that's the focus, the money will just show up. So focus on helping make a difference. All right. Thank you. Stay safe, stay focused. And of course, don't forget to keep smiling, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.